So, Bleacher Report, as you know, if you watch this channel, I have been very critical of Bleacher Report because the amount of times they have claimed that we should trade away T. Higgins. They have made this article talking about different players and where they should sign in the top landing spots, right? And the player that they listed for us is cornerback Anthony Brown. Now, if you don't know who Anthony Brown is, he is a longtime Dallas Cowboys cornerback. According to Pro Football Focus, he was taken in the sixth round by the Dallas Cowboys in the 2016 NFL Draft. He is, of course, 30 years old, and he is a 55 overall grade. But if you look at his stats the last couple seasons, you can see he actually has been a pretty solid, decent cornerback. Last season, he did not do much of anything. He had 7 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, and that's pretty much that. He only played 12 games for them last season. But the year before that, he had his best year of his career. We had 3 interceptions. He had a pick 6. He also had a forced fumble. And he had 71 combined tackles, 59 solo, 12 assists, etc. So he's a pretty all-around good veteran cornerback, right? Now, the problem is first off, I don't think Bleacher Report understands this, is that he's going to cost money. He's going to cost a bit of money. And we already know right now the Bengals are more focused on trying to keep their, group together at this moment in time. T, Chase, and Joe Burrow. So to go out there and spend money on a cornerback, even though, yes, he might not cost that crazy amount because of the fact that he has been on free agency for this long, it's very possible he's still going to cost a pretty penny. And with them having to re-sign, first off, next year, a lot of different players, they're not going to be interested in picking up a cornerback right now if he's going to cost anything more than probably $3 or $4 million. It just simply is not logical / plausible. Especially because, again, like I said before, they're trying to get this T. Higgins contract done. Every dollar right now is focused on re-signing people, T, or Joe Burrow. It's not based on, who's on free agency, who can we pick up on free agency. What we saw from last week's preseason game was, first off, our secondary looks freaking good. Our safeties look good. Our corners look good. The real only issue we saw last week was Sidney Jones did get beat on a couple of plays. He didn't look perfect, but listen, he looked good enough. And same thing with Allen George. That's another guy that really did bad last week. But everyone else did, I would say, average or above average to great. Jordan Battle, even coming back from a hamstring injury, he still looked very serviceable in that defense. So I don't really see the reason why we would even think about bringing in a veteran cornerback here, especially because, again, it's always good to have as much depth as possible in the secondary position. Don't get me wrong. But for the price to reward ratio, the price to, what am I thinking about the word? The amount that he would cost to what we would get back, the risk-reward scenario is just not worth it. We're risking maybe 1 year, $5 million. $5 million it could be going toward T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, etc. And in return, we're going to get a cornerback who played 12 games last year, 16 year before that. So he's, going to be interesting if he can stay healthy. He is 30 years old. Now, at 30, cornerbacks don't really fall off the cliff. It's not like running back position. There's a lot of 30-year-old corners that are still pretty okay, solid. They're not at the height of their career, so they're definitely not going to go out there and put up crazy numbers. But they could still have a pretty decent year, right? Which is nice. And don't get me wrong, that is absolutely amazing. But, again, for the price tag, yeah, then I would say no. And again, as I always say whenever they talk about free agents and the potential of the Bengals signing them, I always say this one statement, and I will remain saying the statement forever, is at the right price tag, every single person is a yes, right? That is just a fact of the matter. If you theoretically speak and say, hey, listen, I want to do an incentive-based contract 1 year for $0, but if I have these incentives, I make up to $6 or $7 million, I will always say yes to that. Because guess what? At the end of the day, if you work out for us, then awesome. We can pay you the money. If you don't, then you don't get paid. But no NFL player would do that, okay? So at the end of the day, you know, even league minimum, because he's a veteran, he's going to need at least veteran minimum. And that's going to cost us $3 or $4 million. So there's just simply no real reason to do it. Again, maybe just to bring him in, just to, you know, rotation purposes. But even then, I just feel like we have the guys we like on the roster right now. We have players like DJ Ivy, Poison Ivy as we call him, DJ Turner, you know, etc., who are getting the job done. And bringing this guy in also would speak the volumes that maybe Poison Ivy doesn't make the roster. And I do not like the idea of Poison Ivy not on my roster week 1. So I'm going to say a big fat heck no, Bleacher Report. Please stop reporting on us. That's all I got to say. Because you made like 74 trades of us trading away T. Higgins, and it's never going to happen. And now you're talking about potentially could have us get rid of Poison Ivy. I don't want to hear it. I'll see you guys in the next one.